Hello everybody, my name is Emmanuel Bamidele reporting for African Mirror Television. Here I am in Durban, South Africa for the International AIDS Conference titled AIDS 2016. This is the 21st AIDS Conference and African Mirror is glad to be in this conference. One of our aims and objectives is that we want to find out what are the important messages the Swiss key players are bringing back to Switzerland, or what are they really sharing globally. And also we want to find out what are the opinions of the South Africans about this conference coming to their country again. It was here in 2000, 16 years ago, and this conference is back here again. How does the South Africans feel about that? Don't go away. I remain your same person, Emmanuel Bamidele.
The 21st International AIDS Conference took place in Durban city of South Africa. This year, AIDS 2016 attracted over 20,000 participants from all over the world with the theme Access, Equity, Rights Now. The opening ceremony was graced with great motivation speeches from different speakers, and the ceremony was held on the birthday of Nelson Mandela and officially declared open by his grandson, Kweku Mandela.
Thank you all very much. Good evening. It is an incredible honor to be here with you tonight. 16 years ago, my grandfather, Nelson Mandela, arrived on this stage at a tipping point for South Africa. Our country's government at the time was in denial about the cause and the response to AIDS. Pitting ego against common sense and indifference over the chance to save lives. Madiba, as my grandfather was affectionately known, asked the people listening around the world to move beyond their differences and do something about HIV and AIDS treatment. Not just in wealthy Western countries, he called AIDS one of the greatest threats humankind had ever faced. The people who took his words to heart and stood up to say enough is enough are many of you who are here with us tonight. You form part of the remarkable progress and history we've been able to achieve over the last 16 years. To move from a world where HIV treatment was once reserved for the largely wealthy and fortunate to a place where 17 million people around the world have access to life-saving treatment.
But I think it is time that we acknowledge that something is terribly wrong. I think it's time we face the truth about the unjust world we live in. The truth is, we have every tool we need to prevent the spread of HIV. Every tool. Condoms, PrEP, PEP, ART, awareness, education. And yet 2.1 million people, 150 of them children, were infected with HIV last year. In South Africa alone, 180,000 people died of AIDS last year. 2.1 million children and counting have been orphaned by this disease. I could go on for a very, very long time with these statistics we all know so well. But instead, let's ask ourselves, why haven't we beaten this epidemic? Could it be because we don't want to? And by we, I don't mean just the people in this room. I mean humanity, all of us. Because when you ask why, you get the same answers again and again and again. Ending AIDS is too expensive, too daunting, too complicated, too stigmatized, too politicized. And I'm going to stop there because those aren't real answers. They're just excuses. The real reason we haven't beaten this epidemic boils down to one simple fact. We value some lives more than others. than gay love. White skin more than black skin. The rich more than the poor. And adults more than adolescents. I know this because AIDS does not discriminate on its own. It has no biological preference for black bodies, for women's bodies, for gay bodies, for youth or the poor. It doesn't single out the vulnerable, the oppressed, or the abused. We single out the vulnerable, the oppressed, and the abused. I just want to be clear about what the "it" in that sentence is. It is not just AIDS. It is the culture that condones rape and shames victims into silence. It is the cycle of poverty and violence that traps girls into teen marriages and forces them to sell their bodies to provide for their families. It is the racism that allows the white and the wealthy to exploit the black and the poor and then blame them for their own suffering. It is the homophobia that shames and isolates LGBT youth and keeps them from life-saving healthcare and education. HIV is not just transmitted by sex. It's transmitted by sexism, racism, poverty, and homophobia.
Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the UN Secretary General and the 11 UN AIDS co-sponsors, I welcome you, all of you, tonight. The question now is where we will be in 16 years' time. AIDS 2016 must mark the commitment to finish what we started and fast-track the end of AIDS. My friends, while much is on track, some things have gone way off track, and we have lost time and lost lives and lost momentum. So let me tell you, I am fired up. Complacency is the new conspiracy. And it is time for us to broken this conspiracy. Our progress is incredibly fragile. If we do not act now, we risk resurgence and resistance.
Her Excellency Mrs. Hélène Budliger-Artieda, the Swiss ambassador to South Africa, hosted the Swiss delegates from different institutions and disciplines to a dinner at the Cargo restaurant. Special guest of honor, Madame Ruth Dreyfus, the former Swiss Minister for Home Affairs and other professional, highlighted some points in regards to the Swiss contribution towards ending the AIDS epidemic by 2030.
So when I was in Switzerland, I was confronted with the AIDS epidemic and a huge increase in drug consumption. So that on one side, I had to fight against the discrimination of the AIDS patient. I had to deliver new medicines and to develop really a policy, I would say, of solidarity, because as we know all, it is discrimination that is really the reason of the disease, more than the virus itself. So when I was there, I was also active in the drug policy because the drug consumption, injecting drugs, was one of the big sources of the epidemic, so that we had to develop for this special population, which was more discriminated than all others, that were a population criminalized and living in the underground, hidden and silent. We had to develop new measures, new treatments, new measures to reduce the harm, like syringes exchange, like new therapies and so on. So So this experience was successful. It was successful in reducing the contamination and helping the people to survive.
Research is absolutely crucial for the agenda to end AIDS by 2030. It is crucial to understand how we can get people to take an HIV test, to know their status, and to link up with care if they're HIV positive. We know what to do, but we often don't know how to do it.
It's been 16 years since the last AIDS conference took place here in Durban, and 2016 is also an important year for Gilead, in that it has been 10 years since we first signed up Indian generic companies to manufacture our drugs with a license, and towards the end of this year we will see 10 million patients worldwide, or in the developing world, to be treated with our drugs.
I think what you have to realize is that migrants will come to Europe just like their colleagues that they live here in Africa. They are plagued with a lot of challenges, and I think the best intervention or approach that we have in Tedder's Home is our ability to work with individuals, particularly the youth, and provide them with psychosocial support.
It's a very inspiring moment because I see so many activists doing community-based work in countries worldwide, and the engagement is so high and colorful. I'd really love to take some energy back to Switzerland and to get the community more implicated.
I think there are a lot of things very different in Switzerland and here down in Africa. The common things are still fighting the stigma, fighting discrimination, and being together, also being together with transgender people, with LGBT people, and not making diversity but making equality. So that was in a few speeches mentioned, and that we bring home to Switzerland.
The agency that is here is palpable because everybody is saying, look, the science is there. What we now need is to be able to implement and to really remove the barriers that impede the implementation, because we have only 4 years, if not less, to really reach those 90s. And it's a tall order, but I think with political will, with everybody working together and networking, we can make it. Yes.
And at the same time, you mentioned political will. I think it's very important. What we ask ourselves as a government as well, how can we engage beyond being funders? And we are proud to be funders, 10 million per year to UNAIDS currently, 20 million to the Global Fund, and we fund bilateral programs on sexual and reproductive health and rights and HIV. But how can we engage? So being Switzerland being the chair of the UNAIDS board this year, that's and last year we have been vice chair of the UNAIDS board. Switzerland has
Zimbabwe.
Exactly, and Switzerland had the honor to co-facilitate the political declaration of the high-level meeting this year in June, together with Zambia. So I think these are commitments that go beyond just funding, and I think that we have to honor the honor to actually take on such tasks that really underline additional commitment beyond the funding.
That's true. Especially in South Africa, what happened since the last conference that happened here in Durban in the year 2000 to now 2016, where you have basically 3.4 million HIV positive people under ART, sponsored and financed by the government. I think that is outstanding.
Yes, but not at the end. You have to. I think what I learned was that, in contrast to Switzerland, here on the continent of Africa, only half of 50% of people being HIV positive have the chance to get treated. So, and in contrast to Switzerland, where everybody has the possibility to get treatment.
We are coming to you live from the workshop. My name is Xolani Mthetswa. We are here to speak about HIV and AIDS, as we know that we should prevent ourselves from contracting this very contagious disease indeed. My name is Xolani Mthetswa. I am a South African. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Caroline Dwara. I'm also South African. These are my friends. I love them very much. Give me a hug, dog. Okay, the point is, I'm going to talk about HIV and AIDS as well. All I want to say is, even if you do know your status and you are HIV positive, it doesn't mean it's the end of life or anything. Just take care of yourself, do what's right, treat yourself as, you know, as an individual and as an equal to everyone else. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Morosi Morosi, proudly South African. Yeah, I would like to tell everyone, be safe, use condom, love yourself, yeah, and love life.
Well, number one, I would say it's good for this conference to come to South Africa, but it mustn't go on and on, because we South Africans, we know that the people who are really discriminated, the people that need to be looked after, need to be taught, or need to be educated, are the poor people and the people who are discriminated by their color. So I think those are the people that they need education. And the young people, they need to be represented. They need to be well taught about the HIV, because they're the ones who are infected by HIV/AIDS in nowadays, more than the people that are old. But it's good for this conference to come. But let's hope that it's not going to go on and on without us going to the grassroots and really educate those people who really need education in our own languages or in our different languages, in the farm, in the rural areas. You know, I mean, let's spread the message for those people, because they are uneducated and they need education. Once you've got education, you know about the disease. You can even prevent the disease if you know, if you are educated or you have been well taught about that disease.
The only thing that fellow South Africans can do to prevent the spread of HIV is it's only just by abstain from having sex, and also preventing, using safe items like condoms, sort of, you know, whenever. And also the other thing is, whenever someone notifies that is affected by this type of a disease, he or she must go to the hospital and get treatment soon, so that can reduce the spread of HIV, so that it can get treatment and be cancelled.
One thing I know, firstly, as a young South African, it's a good thing that if you're studying like us, I think it's better if you abstain, just to prevent yourself or to avoid yourself from contracting the diseases. And secondly, if you are aware of the diseases, tell others who also maybe who do not know what to do. Maybe, for instance, you can tell them, instead of having sex, they can abstain. If they are having sex, they can use condoms and all that to protect themselves. And by that, they can also educate their own families, and the families can also know what's happening, and they can also know how to prevent the disease.
No, the government can do more, because I live at Inanda, there are only few people that knows about it. They know about HIV, but they don't know what must they do, you know, those stuff. They know that they have to take the medication, but they also can educate school children so that they can teach their parents, because not all of their parents are educated enough to understand about HIV and AIDS.
You want to say something on the roundup?
Okay, yes. Firstly, I think the government is trying by all means to make sure that everybody is aware of HIV and AIDS and what the disease is causing, especially here in South Africa, being one of the countries which has people who are mostly affected. So the government is trying by all means, as I just saw people while I was going up by the school, there's guys who from Life, they had condoms to give to schools. They leave them to schools so that people can...
Love Life?
Live Life, yes. yes. Those people, they leave condoms in schools, in public areas like here, in the malls and all that, so that people can prevent themselves from the HIV and AIDS. And the government, in everywhere you see, they encourage people to test so that people can know their status. When you know your status, then you can also be able to take your medication if you are HIV positive. And that can prevent you from infecting another person. Because if you're not aware of your status, you would not know when you sleep with someone else that that person is going to get infected or something like that. Or if you do not get tested, you don't know whether, if you don't get tested, you don't know what your status is. The government is, here in South Africa, it is trying by all means to inform almost everyone, because almost a child in high school, a small child in high school or in primary, in their life orientation, they are taught about HIV and AIDS. From the age I was like 6 years, I knew that there was a disease called HIV and AIDS. And our teachers, they tried by all means to inform us and to tell us that this is a very, very strong disease and we must try by all means to know it so that it can be prevented.
Thank you so much, sisters. I really wish you a nice afternoon, and I'm very happy that your government, they're really doing a great job and you are very, very well informed. I think you can be an advocate for youth from your knowledge. Thank you so much.
I'm studying law.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, how you doing? Anyway you dare, let them not say you be stronger when I was stronger. When it's stronger, you are. Tell the world that you're a stronger. Everybody, you're a stronger. Let them not say you be stronger. 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 Come on, everybody. Stronger. 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 Come on, wave your hands like this. African lady, American baby. It doesn't matter where you're from, you're a strong lady. Yeah. Asian baby, Australian CC. The time has come to take our place as strong lady. 'Cause we are stronger. If we stand together, we can rule the world. Yeah, all in a man. What in the Mafasi, what in the Bogoto. Sinamana. Anyway, let them not say you be stronger when I was stronger. When it's stronger. Hey, show the world that you're a strong girl. You're a strong girl. Let them not say you be stronger when I pass it. Stronger. 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 Maria Kanjo. Stronger. Beyonce. Stronger. You Susie. Stronger. Stronger. L'espoir d'un monde béni, d'ailleurs et d'ici, nous portons la vie. Flash savage, nous portons la vie. Stronger, stronger. Let them say you'll be stronger when I was stronger. When it's stronger. Wherever you are, show the world that you're a strong girl. You're a strong girl. Let them say you'll be stronger. Come on, put your hands like this. Stronger. Everybody. Hey. Stronger. 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 I'm a queen, I'm a star. Black African Tiva bizarre. I spit and we're shining like stars. Start from the bottom and rise to the top. You're wonderful, loving and strong. Nothing is stronger than a woman's work. I'm a piece of the puzzle that's missing, baby. I completed the earth. Call me Shiva, or just call me Miriam Makeba. See, we run the world. Show some love to a strong girl. 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 Stronger. stronger from Nigeria. Thank you.
Thank you. You're stronger. Charlize Theron strong.